Initiation into Hermetics by Franz Barden. And it's raining. Asceticism. From the remotest times, all religions, sects, turn of mind, and training systems have regarded asceticism as a very important problem. Various systems of the Orient turned asceticism into fanaticism, causing great damages by exaggeration and wild excesses which were unnatural and unlawful. The mortification of the flesh, generally speaking, is just as one-sided as developing one part of the body only, neglecting all the other parts. If asceticism serves the human body, say, in the pattern of a diet, to get rid of slags and other impurities, or save the body from illness and compensate disharmonies, ascetic measures may reasonably be employed, but beware of any exaggeration. Somebody doing hard physical work would indeed be very foolish to deprive the body of substances absolutely necessary for its preservation, just because he is privately interested in yoga or mysticism. Such extremes would doubtlessly end up with serious and dangerous injuries to the health. Vegetarianism is not implicitly important for the mental progress or the intellectual development unless it is supposed to be a remedy to clean the body from slags. A temporary abstinence from meat or animal food is indicated only for very specific magic operations as a sort of preparation, and even then only for a certain period. All this is to be considered with respect to sexual life. The idea that by eating the meat of an animal, the animal powers or faculties could be conveyed to oneself is nonsense and originates in a mentality ignoring the perfect and genuine primitive laws. The magician does not pay any attention to such misconception. In the interest of his mago-mystic development, the magician must be moderate in eating and drinking and observe a reasonable mode of life. It is impossible to fix precise rules or prescriptions, the magic way of life being quite individual. Each and all must know best what agrees or disagrees with them. It is a sacred duty to keep the balance everywhere. There are three kinds of asceticism. 1. Intellectual or mental asceticism. 2. Psychic or astral asceticism. 3. Physical or material asceticism. The first kind has to do with the discipline of thoughts. The second kind is engaged in ennobling the soul through control of passions and instincts. And the third kind is concerned with harmonizing the body through a moderate and natural way of life. Without these three kinds of asceticism, which must be developed at the same time and parallel to each other, a correct magical rise is unthinkable. None of the three kinds may be neglected. None of them may prevail to avoid any one-sided development. Further information about how to accomplish this task will be given in the practical training course of this book. Before bringing the theoretic part to an end, which has illustrated the theoretic principles, I advise everybody that this part should not only be read, but must become the mental possession of the concerned person by means of intense reflection and meditation. He who is going to be a magician will recognize that life is dependent on the work of the elements in the various planes and spheres. It is to be seen in great and in small things, in the microcosm as well as in the macrocosm. Temporarily and eternally, everywhere there are powers in action. Starting from this point of cognition, you will find out that there is no death at all, in the true sense of the word, but everything goes on living transmuting and becoming perfect according to primitive laws. Therefore, a magician is not afraid of death, for he believes the physical death to be only a transition to a subtler sphere, the astral plane, and from there to the spiritual level, and so on. Consequently, he will neither believe in heaven nor in hell. The priests of various religions stick to these fancies solely to keep their kids to the point. Their moralizing serves only to provoke fear of the hell or the purgatory, and to promise heaven to morally good people. Average people, as far as they are religiously inclined, are favourably influenced by such a point of view, for from fear of hell they will try to be good. But as to the magician, he sees the purpose of the moral laws in ennobling the mind and the soul. For it is in an ennobled soul only that the universal powers can do their work, especially if body, soul, and mind have been equally trained and developed. Okay, thus ends the theory section. In the next video, we will move to part 2, practice. Lovely.